Okay, I got a battery charging. I got my T-square. I got plenty of wood. So I've decided we are going to build a hip or a wedge. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's going to be low here and high at the point. So it's going to be a little bit more complicated than your standard sort of ramp build, but I also don't see too many people doing these. So let's get the saw started and we'll start cutting some, or doing some measurements and some angles and whatnot. Now anytime you're cutting, make sure you wear ear and eye protection. Okay, so we need to have whatever this angle is right here. So we're going to guess that it's whatever this angle is. I have no idea what this is. And I could just possibly ruin my only piece of wood that's the right length. Hope this works. That's pretty much spot on with my line. I think that's going to be it. Okay, so we need 15 degrees. I don't know how to even explain it, but we're going to try to mirror it on the other side. It's a learning process. And it should be dead on with my new measurement. So it looks like we're good on this side. Okay, we're good. I'm putting the screws in offset, as you can see. That's so I can add another one in later. I'm using square head. I recommend strongly not using Phillips for anything. The only reason I've used Phillips in any of these builds is because I just have a bunch from leftover construction projects. But if you're going to go out and buy some, buy the square heads or the star bits, like the Torx heads. Now we want to make sure our screws don't hit, so we're going to do one more bracing in the middle. Let's use this thing. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so we're just going to cut 245s and wherever it lands kind of thing. This pipe is flatter. So we got our basic shape. Now we just need to start filling in the gaps, and that's what it should be. So I just need to figure out the measurement after that. That looks like it might be it. Yeah, that'll be just fine. It's a pretty solid junction. Oh, we got a big split in this piece of wood. We're gonna have to go further up. I don't want that to split. Sorry, wood. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely didn't cut this right. I can almost put a piece of wood in between this, which is what I might do. Yeah, this might end up being for the best here. Yeah, that'd be fine. Let's not make that mistake again, though. We're not making like woodwork ramps here. We're just making it to where we can have some fun when the winter nights are long. So what I'm finding out with having this sort of triangular design with all these weird degrees and stuff is, like, to screw it in, you want to go at the you want to screw the screw in like right here rather than in the middle of the board, unless you want to angle it in to get the maximum, but then your screws will be sticking out weird. So I suggest kind of going straight I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm also using sort of smaller diameter screws just so I don't have to pre-drill. Makes it so it doesn't like stretch the wood out as much. Not the best piece of wood here to use, but it's a solid piece of wood. It's got a lot of imperfections, and it's like a 2x3 instead of a 2x4. But it's going to be up towards the top where there's not going to be as much stress placed upon it, so I think this is going to be our next piece here. You're also going to want to inspect your wood. I mean, you can see here that there's a bit of a stress crack right here, and it's better to put the crack on the top than it is the bottom, because the bottom is just going to make it bow like a V, like this. So if the crack's on the bottom, it's just going to have an easier time splitting rather than, you know, trying to fight the geometry of the crack. This is like the biggest piece of shit wood I have, so I'd rather use this kind of up towards the top. See from the side and the top. I think it's going to do just nicely. I traced it out perfectly right here. That way there's no question this positively will fit that piece regardless of my bad measurements. So there's no reason not to with a piece this small. So we're also lifting the wood up to relieve stress off the blade, because if you let it sag, there's more friction on the face of the blade, so you'll kill your battery quicker or just be harder to cut. So before you cover this up with the skin, you're going to want to mark out exactly where your wood is, your ribs, your connecting points, so you won't have to measure or anything. You just kind of straight edge across and then just get where the rib is. So on both sides. I just need to get the straight edge in between these two lines on this side and then those two lines on the other side. Bring it across, and then I can mark the entire beam so I know exactly where I'm going to be hitting. Rough side up, and we're going to just get the very point first, and then we can pivot off that. Now I'm going to say to make sure that the flat part is touching, even it up, and we're going to work from one direction down. If you start from the bottom, continue go all the way up. Start from the top, continue all the way down. Otherwise, you'll get like little pockets where there'll be spots you can push in easily. So we're going to basically squeeze all that extra space out. So there's the top. And there's our bottom. So if the wood's not sucking up, that means you didn't hit. That positively means I hit because it sucked it up. With the screws, you're going to want to recess them a little bit, because if you fall on them, they're going to dig you up. Like they're going to dig into your skin, or possibly pop your tire if you land really weird on them. So keep that in mind. So it's a quicker process. Okay, let's move this thing and then mate it up to it and see how it looks. That turned out pretty nice. Gives me some options, you know. Pretty flush. It does stick up a little bit right there, but that's not going to be too big of a problem. So I don't know if I would recommend building this as like a first ramp or anything, but I figured I'd take you along for the journey, and we got there. Now comes the fun part, the sweeping, the mopping, the reorganizing. Well, let me introduce you to my new skate park. Put the wall right behind there so I can still like do peg chinks on there and then protect the back wall. Obviously I put my little wedge there. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I feel like if I take off here, land here, it'll set me up for something over here, or at least just turn around. Got my ledge over here. This is more in line for summertime. I can open up the garage and still have space between here to come grind. My lips are frozen, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm talking weird. Because I haven't had the heater on because I had the garage door open and sweeping everything. Thing's pretty solid. Have a good day. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video. There we go.